It is time. Il est temps de faire la quête de Sigewinne. Je ne sais pas si la quête va être intéressante. J'ai mis quelques réserves. Donc je lance le rec. On va écouter un peu. Et si dans 3 secondes je m'ennuie, je fais la sieste pendant 2 heures.
This shop looks popular today. Wonder what the occasion is.
C'est quoi cet accent Pémon là? What?
Butterfly Dew Cosmetics now on sale. Huh, looks like it. Oh, Sigewinne's here too. Hey there, Sigewinne! Hello there, Traveler and Paimon. I hope you're keeping yourselves fit and healthy. You bet we are. So anyway, what are you doing here, Sigewinne? The Duke insists I take regular vacations in
Comment ça t'as pas encore fait la quête de Sigewinne,
This
Zanik?
one just so happened to
Elle est
coincide
sortie il y a
with
plus de
a
3 semaines.
promotion for a new skincare
Hop
product.
hop hop.
So I came over to take a look.
Putain, après je dis ça mais il va y avoir celle de Emily aussi qui sort en deuxième partie. Oh, je sais pas si je vais la faire.
Right? For a magazine? Which one?
Ah vu qu'après il y a un Atlan,
It's called Beautés en Fleurs.
je la ferai quand elle sera dispo.
Fontaine Beauty Association. I've done lots of articles about skincare for them.
Celle de Yoimi elle est bien, hein. La cinématique elle est stylée. Hein.
Oh wow!
C'est l'une de mes préférées.
Maritime flower?
Nalil.
If Paimon's not mistaken,
On
you're one
t'attend.
of the leading figures in the Fontaine Beauty Association. What's so weird about that? Everyone loves beauty. I really like this role. The staff at cosmetic shops are always so polite. And as long as I wear a big smile on my face, I always get the best customer service. Well, they sure don't want to make an enemy of the Maritime flower. Obviously, it's
Attends,
because
même
of
plus aller ouvrir la
Sigewinne's
fenêtre.
love for
Ça
beauty.
sent bien, je crois.
Still a leader of the
Ça va.
Beauty Association? That's incredible. The truth is, I study this field because I cherish my own appearance. It has nothing to do with being beautiful or not.
Bonsoir Ikaso.
Oh, the words of a master beautician.
Bienvenue sur la meilleure partie de Genshin.
Oh, wait,
Les quêtes de
you're
personnages
saying
qui
that
durent 2 heures sans
natural
raison.
beauty is the highest form of beauty, right? Not really. Actually, Melusine aesthetics are very different from human ones. We don't view humans based on their appearance. If I had to describe our approach, I'd say it's based on cuteness. Oh,
Bon d'accord c'est bon.
yeah.
Bah bon courage Ikaso.
Still, I really value my
À la
current
prochaine.
appearance.
Bonne
And
soirée.
in the process of taking
Ciao,
care of
ciao.
it, I've ended up learning quite a lot about skincare and stuff. It turns out, my knowledge and experience is pretty popular with beauty product lovers. It came as a big surprise to me, though. Oh, Paimon gets it now. But speaking of your appearance, how come you look human anyway? Are you like only half Melusine? Ooh, wait, sorry. That was probably really offensive, wasn't it? No, I don't mind. I'm not mixed, though. I made a decision to turn myself into this form a very long time ago. If you're interested, I could tell you the story. A shape-shifting story? Oh, heck yeah, of course we're interested! Once upon a time... Long ago, humans rejected Melusines, and Melusines feared humans. There was one Melusine who became fascinated with human medicine, but no human wanted her help. And there was one girl who liked Melusines, so no humans would make friends with her. So, the Melusine became the girl's friend, and the girl became the Melusine's patient. Your checkup's all done. You are still in perfect health. Thank you, Dr. Melusine. In this game of doctor and patient, a friendship was born. Then, One day, the girl fell ill. The Melusine was the only doctor to arrive on time, but the adults sent her away.
Scram! Melusines can't be trusted!
So just because I'm not human, I can't save my best friend? In desperation, the Melusine approached the frightening witch. She begged and begged until she got a reply.
If you take this potion, concocted of sin, you will gain a human face and grow human limbs. But then, you will lose everything that attracted this friend of yours to you in the first place. Can you accept that?
The Melusine did not hesitate for very long. On a rainy night, a little doctor knocked on the girl's door. The doctor wore a hood and raincoat, maybe to protect her from the rain, but maybe also to hide a secret. The little doctor held the girl's hand and treated her illness, just as she had so many times before. Dawn came, and the little girl's condition improved. But the little doctor was long gone, for she knew her friend would never recognize her again. And so, since then, I've lived my life in human form. Most people who know me just think I
Ah,
was
donc ça
born this
explique...
way.
D'accord. Bah, c'est vrai que... Enfin, moi, je m'étais posé la question de pourquoi ils ont pas fait un personnage vraiment...
A witch?
Mélusine, mais au final, on a le...
Why does this sound like a fairy
On a
tale?
l'explication.
Trust me, it's a true story. Must be the way you told it then. It just sounds so... yeah, not every Melusine would take human form to save their human friend. That must have been a huge decision. Treating patients is a doctor's duty. We must always find a way, even when the going gets tough. It's so crazy that they turned you away just because you were a Melusine, especially when their daughter was so sick. Well, sometimes appearance can be a real barrier, but that was a long time ago. I like how I look now anyway. Hi, Ren too! You're super cute this way.
Attention customers! Thank you all for waiting. Now, on behalf of our skincare partner, I'm delighted to announce that our exciting new product is now officially on sale!
Well, there we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, Paimon, if you want to buy any skincare products, I'll be happy to give you some suggestions. Really? Personal advice right from a leader of the Fontaine Beauty Association? What an honor!
Allow me to introduce our newest skin lotion, Butterfly Dew. I'm sure many of you have already read about this product's trials in the newspapers. To say that it improves skin quality is an understatement. This product gets its name from the way it transforms your skin and makes it glow anew, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis and spreading its wings for the first time. We are thrilled to have the inventor of this fantastic product with us here today. Please welcome Mr. Rawat, a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Now, without further ado, I'll hand over to Mr. Rawat to tell you all about what Butterfly Dew can do for you.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Rawat, and I developed Butterfly Dew.
Wow, what a looker.
He's a researcher? Wow, he's really challenging the stereotype.
It seems that everyone is surprised by my entrance. Or should I say, my appearance. I'm well aware that researchers are generally better known for their brains than their dashing good looks. In that regard, I do believe I break the mold somewhat. Of course, appearance is a skin-deep way of defining a person. And yet one's appearance can be a very real set of shackles, holding a person back in their life. It can rob a young person of their self-confidence when applying for a job, dissuade a young lady from approaching the one she loves. Our actions are at the mercy of our appearance, and we slowly become the very person that the outside world sees us as. But what if I told you that those shackles can be broken? If our appearance prevents us from changing, then let us first change our appearance itself. Wash away moles, birthmarks, and wrinkles, and they can no longer rob us of our confidence. Replace them with luster and radiance, and we shall never again hang our heads in shame. That is why Butterfly Dew exists. Its mission is to allow us to shed our pupae, undergo a complete metamorphosis, and embrace a new life.
Well, whether it actually works or not, after that speech, Paimon's already sold!
Mr. Rawat, could I ask if you've used this product yourself?
Of course, I tried it many times while I was testing it. You can consider me a product ambassador.
Wow, then it's sure to work!
Still, I don't expect to convince you just by blowing my own trumpet. So, could I get a volunteer from the audience to try it out?
Oh, Paimon volunteers!
Oh! Ah, what an honor! It appears we have a giant of the Fontaine Beauty Association here with us. In that case, Miss Sigewinne, could we seek your most expert opinion on this product?
Sure.
Whoa, is that Romaritime flower? They say she's the pickiest user of skincare products in all of Fontaine.
Here you go.
Well, it's very kind to the skin, and the absorption rate is high. Even for Fontaine, this is a first-rate product. Wow, now that's high praise!
I'll take one.
Any discounts?
All right. Well, all that remains for me to say is, Butterfly Dew is now on sale!
Think we should buy a bottle too?
Bonsoir, Dictate. Ça va et toi?
Aww,
Ging.
really? Well, it's
On est en
still
train de
good
faire une
to
quête
care for your skin,
incroyable.
though, right? I would definitely feel
Celle de
kinda
Sigewinne, mais
rough
qui en
and
vrai
ready
t'explique
to
pourquoi elle a
go
pas une
to
tête
all
de
the time.
Mélusine.
And if you're worried about whether it's the right product for you,
Mais du coup,
well, luckily for
ça va
us,
continuer pendant 2 heures
Sigewinne's
encore, on sait pas
here,
pourquoi.
so we can get an expert consultation.
Ah oui, d'accord, ça fait 13 minutes que j'ai lancé le rec, on a le truc que maintenant. T'as envie d'être en hiver, on se demande pourquoi. Double Sigewinne. Ça va. Bonsoir
It's an
Flucos.
honor to receive such high praise from you.
Ça va.
To be honest, I was also hoping you might be able to point out some flaws in the product so I can keep improving it.
With most skincare products, the pros and cons only become apparent with long-term use. Yet, this one has instant benefits, improving skin quality without any obvious side effects. It's one of a kind. Don't worry though, I plan to keep using it, and I'll publish regular reviews in Beauté Sans Fleur. You can read my thoughts there. All you need to do is subscribe.
Oh, I was hoping for a more casual conversation, but you are a beauty association leader after all. I understand if you want to keep this professional.
Sigewinne! Oh, excuse us, Miss Beauty Expert. But do you think this product is a good choice for me and her?
Wait, are you the renowned traveler?
That's right, and by her side, the equally famous Paimon.
Well, I don't normally handle customer questions personally, but since it's the traveler asking, allow me to make an exception. Butterfly Dew is made for all skin types, so no matter who you are, you can rest assured that it will be kind to your skin. If anything, it might be marginally more effective on Fontainian's skin, but other than that, it works the same on everyone.
Why would it work better on Fontainians?
In the interests of protecting my trade secrets, I'm afraid I can't answer that, Miss Paimon.
Alright then. How about a friend discount?
Save yourself the trouble. I'd be greatly honored to have both of you use my product. Here, take 2 bottles for free.
Yay! Paimon's private fund survives!
I can see why you might think that, but please don't misunderstand. This gift is simply a token of my esteem. There's no business motivation behind it. To me, finding new customers for Butterfly Dew is about meeting kindred spirits, fellow admirers of physical beauty. I consider it a labor of love.
Admirers of physical beauty? Eesh, that's embarrassing to say out loud. It sounds so shallow.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Paimon. Most people claim to desire inner virtue, but it's still physical appearance that turns their heads. This is a fact of life. It's only natural for people to desire to become beautiful. And that's exactly what
Après, normalement, ça rebaisse demain les
research
températures, je
direction
crois.
in the first place.
You're right.
Non, je vois demain 30 degrés.
Everyone loves
Pardon.
beauty, don't they?
Putain. Là, c'est dimanche 21.
My apologies, but I have other things to attend to. I'll leave you with these 2 bottles of Butterfly
Mais comment
Dew,
ça se fait
and
qu'au
I
Portugal, il
look
fait moins
forward
chaud,
to
je
seeing you
comprends pas.
again.
Paimon, I'd say there's no need for you and the Traveler to use this product for now. Why? Is there a problem with it? The quality is fine. I just think there's room for improvement. I think I could add some ingredients to the mix to make it more effective. Really? Then why didn't you tell Rawat about that? Researchers are a very special breed of human. You can point out their flaws to their face and they won't mind very much. But if you tell them that someone else could do a better job, ooh, now that'll make them really upset. If I'd mentioned it, he probably wouldn't have given you those 2 bottles for free. Huh, fair enough, that makes sense. If you're interested in the more effective version, I can write up a list of ingredients for you. Just come get me once you've gathered them. When you say more effective, you mean it'll make Paimon even prettier? Ooh, how can we say no? As for me, it's probably time I got back to the Fortress of Maripede. I mustn't leave the infirmary unattended for too long. Alright, see you there then!
Alors, récupérons les éléments sur la liste. Donc. Ouais, ça a l'air d'être de l'autre côté quand même. Hop là. Vamos! C'est vrai qu'il fait chaud.
Just up ahead, traveler. The ingredients for Sigewinne should be nearby.
Hop là. Oh, est-ce qu'ils ont modifié du coup le ratio de son tire-bubule là? J'ai pas vérifié. Ouais, ça c'est fait. Ah oui, donc là vous lootez rien parce que vous êtes des... D'accord. Nul. Ils auraient pu mettre du loot quand même, wesh. Surtout que c'est les mêmes mobs, what the fuck. C'est les mêmes mobs au même endroit, mais... Ils font partie d'une quête et ils lootent pas. Je vois. Dictat, je sais pas si t'as commencé à jouer là depuis la mise à jour. Mais on a un personnage à récupérer, un skin gratuit, un skin payant aussi. Mais voilà, c'est... Il y a une zone... Mais c'est pas censé faire ça, quoi. Si. Et comme elle lève la main, je sais pas, j'ai l'impression que l'animation est bizarre. Ouais, d'accord. Je peux mourir sinon, non? Non, la voix de résonne qui résonne. La voix de Paimon qui résonne. Socorro. T'as Sekiro. Je suis pas au bon endroit là. Bah si. Oh non. Oh non. Oh non. Oh non, non, non. Pas la prison. Faut que je finisse Elden Ring. Je pense que je vais essayer dimanche. Demain on fera la partie de l'event. Et après, je sais pas si Elden Ring, je vais le finir en un live. Ça dépend. Ça dépend si j'ai la foi de faire 1 milliard de try ou si j'invoque. On retrouve Sigewinne.
The infirmary is packed.
Please, you have to believe me. I saw it with my own eyes last night. Another me. He looked exactly like me.
Got it? Okay. I've written down everything you told me. Now, I have a few tests to run. Take a deep breath.
Ah,
and don't
bonsoir
worry,
Ice
it's nothing
Blue.
to be nervous
Comment ça
about.
va?
First, which
Mavuika,
finger am
c'est
I
qui?
holding up?
C'est la meuf O ou c'est le mec
I'm telling you, my mental state is
le mec
fine.
d'Endro?
I'm not crazy.
Very good.
En te connaissant, c'est plus
Now, on to the next.
la meuf, je pense.
Hey there, Your Grace. It's been a while.
C'est la concurrente. Ah merde.
Ah, it's you two.
Moi, je retiens pas les noms tant que les persos sont pas sortis en fait.
I would offer you some
Oopsie.
tea, but I'm afraid the timing is unfortunate.
C'est le prochain perso que tu vas C6.
No worries. Actually, we were looking for Sigewinne.
Il a une farmer en mode rock.
Know it.
Oh, mais je sais même pas.
This is
Pardon.
not-
This
Ah, c'était
inmate
peut-être il a
can't
vu
run
tous les
to the
persos
guards at
annoncés
hand.
pour
I'd
Natlan
like to have seen his exact
et l'annonce des
doppelganger.
3 prochains persos.
A
Si
doppelganger?
je vais faire un effort. Ouais, non, mais les noms, laisse tomber. Déjà, j'ai retenu Emily alors qu'elle est pas sortie, c'est incroyable.
But we've inspected our records. No one even vaguely resembles him.
Non, puis des fois, je m'embête les persos,
Considering
genre
how certain he is of
Xianyun.
what he saw, I can only surmise that he's having
Et des
some
fois,
mental
je
issues.
retrouve pas, quoi.
So I brought him for a medical evaluation.
En même temps, il y a trop de persos.
Very good. Take a sip of water and rest for a bit. Evaluation complete.
Et du coup, Haze Blue, est-ce que tu vas invoquer Emily ou pas?
Physical condition.
I see. So do you still believe there's more likely to be an issue with his mind than his body?
I have to assume so for now. Psychological issues are more difficult to detect. At this stage, we can at least confirm that he is in command of his cognitive faculties.
The rumor mill will go crazy if word of this gets out. Guards, take him to the ward for a period of observation. The Marechaussee Phantom has requested my cooperation on a case, otherwise I'd deal with this myself. Sorry for the trouble, head nurse, but I'll have to leave this to you.
No problem, Your Grace. I'll add him to my observation list.
By the way, we have a couple of guests here who've made the trip just to see you. I imagine it must be important. You
Après,
probably
Moualani,
won't
du
need to
coup,
add
c'est la
him to
meuf
your
d'eau, c'est ça?
observation list,
Je veux sucrose.
Oh,
Je peux
Camelot,
plus de toi,
hi,
dictate.
Lon, it's you. Hey there, Sigewinne. It's actually not that important,
Mais là,
but
t'as un perso à récupérer, là.
I'll be in my office if you desperately need me.
Il faudra faire l'event de l'été.
Goodbye for now.
okay, bye-bye. So, Sigewinne. Would you mind waiting for just a moment? I have another patient to see. Just find an empty bed and take a seat. I won't be long. Oh, sure.
Sigewinne, we've brought him. And he seems to have taken a turn for the worse again.
Okay, don't panic. Let's start by sitting him down here. Paimon had no idea how busy it can get for Sigewinne. Maybe now's not the time to ask for her help with skincare. Good point. Besides, it might actually be interesting to observe her at work. Well, this could hurt, so I suggest you take a deep breath first. Did his face melt? What happened to him?
It's anyone's guess. His face melted off shortly after arriving at the fortress. But since he's a serious offender, he can't be allowed out for medical treatment. Best we can do for now is ask the head nurse to give him something to manage the symptoms. Oh, this is gonna be awkward. We still need to bring him to the Marechaussee Phantom for questioning. What if he scares them half to death? Will that be our fault?
The Marechaussee Phantom? Does this have something to do with the case Risley's dealing with?
Yep, it was a huge case. They bagged a few dozen crooks in one fell swoop. And this guy's the baddest apple of the bunch. He harmed countless people. And now, it looks like it's all finally catching up with him.
You done gawking?
Not yet. I need to check the severity of your ulcers to decide the right dosage. Don't worry. We Melazines have a very different sense of aesthetics from humans. To me, you just look like a little kitty with slightly scruffy fur, but still just as cute.
Don't patronize me. Do I look like a kid to you? Just give me the meds and let me out of here. I already missed my cell.
Hey, lose the attitude. You dare talk back to our head nurse like that again? Your days are numbered.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to apply the medication now. Tell me if it hurts, alright?
Look how nice Sigewinne's being. And he still talks to her like that? What a nasty piece of work.
Can I leave now?
Wow, not a peep. What a brave little guy.
Thank you, Sigewinne. And I apologize for the trouble.
So, Traveler, Paimon, did you bring the ingredients?
We did, but we don't want to interfere or anything. You're busy saving lives here.
Oh, don't be silly. I agreed to it, didn't I? Just hand me the ingredients, and I'll make some time to whip it into the improved version for you. Take a rest here if you want. Or, if you're not tired, I hear they're holding a new pancreation tournament in the administration area.
Or alternatively, is there anything we could help you with, Sigewinne? That's right! Let us help you out! It's the least we could do!
Good point. Kind-hearted humans start to develop guilt if they accept free help from others. Don't worry. I'll take a look at my schedule. I'm sure I can find something to treat this condition. I gotta warn you though, it'll be tiring work. So I suggest you take a break first, then come back
Pardon,
and
j'ai
see
fait
me
une
when you're
micro-sieste.
ready.
Gameplay cool pour l'explo. De toute façon, on a vu qu'elle avait une espèce de requin. Et qu'elle s'en servait un peu comme une planche. Mais alors après, est-ce que chaque personnage a un système de déplacement? Parce que les trois qu'on a vus, j'ai l'impression que c'est le cas. Hein. On a le Dendro, je crois qu'il a une espèce de truc pour grappiner. Et la petite, on l'avait vue dans le trailer, elle était sur une toupie.
What for?
Et peut-être que l'Arcombe, elle aura une moto. Petit pépé. Citlali, c'est qui Citlali là? Mavuka, je vais retenir, c'est l'Arcon. Et Citlali, c'est qui? La meuf aux cheveux roses cryo. Celle qui se fait... qui reçoit une balle là et elle la rejette en disant laisse pas tranquille ou je sais pas quoi. Bah, visuellement c'est celle qui m'a le plus interpellé on va dire. Donc j'attends aussi. De toute façon je pense que pour l'instant à première vue il n'y a aucun perso que je skip. J'ai pas l'impression qu'il y ait un perso qui est... enfin, aussi niche que l'inné. Enfin je dis ça, j'en sais rien. En tout cas j'ai pas envie de vomir en voyant certains persos donc... Léopard Géo. On va savoir, hein. Peut-être qu'elle sera God tier. Hein. Et peut-être que ce sera enfin le premier perso 5 star Géo de la bannière Perma. On va savoir.
I know. I shouldn't treat the place like a playground. Shouldn't go swimming in the lower levels where we join up with the sea, because it'll give me a cold and distract her from her work. I thought I'd be able to have some fun here at the fortress for a few days.
Et puis il y a aussi le mec qui est un peu dans l'obscurité là, pas loin du Fatui. Ah, lui aussi il est un peu intriguant je trouve. Enfin la plupart des persos étaient cool quand même. Même si c'est vrai que la Léopard Géo, bon... c'est Deya avec des moustaches de chat quoi. J'ai pas trop compris.
I've got an uncle who caught a cold. His fever went away on its own after a couple days. Can't you just write me a note saying I'm on the mend? I just need
Alors ouais, tu peux essayer Dictat, mais j'espère que c'est le bon. Parce qu'à un moment il y avait plusieurs drops. Je vois pas Genshin dans le...
What makes you say that?
If you want to
Mais c'est
rely
bien
on
le
your
Twitch
own immune
drop
system to clear
Genshin.
up your
Normalement,
fever,
ouais.
oh, then
C'est
you'll
good.
have to tough it out like this young lady.
Hang in there, traveler! Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag!
Huh?
As long as you're tough enough to get through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll be right as rain after just a few days' rest.
And if I'm not tough enough?
Hey! Hey! Wake up! Wake up!
Put it this way, at least you'll never have to see the doctor again, right?
I think maybe I'll take that medicine after all, if that's okay.
Oh, of course. Here, it's still warm.
It's so bitter.
All done. Great job, you two.
That kid really doesn't know what's good for him.
His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately, but unfortunately his father's away on a business trip right now. She had no choice but to bring her son here for the time being. He was quite happy at first. He seemed to think that the Fortress of Meripede would be all fun and games.
So you made us put on that act just to scare a kid into taking his medicine? That's a pretty sneaky trick. Seems like there's a whole side to Sigewinne we never knew about.
It's a technique I learned from my teacher.
Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a Melazine doctor too?
She was human. She passed away a long time ago.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I really liked my teacher, so it's always nice when I get to talk about her with other people. She was a traveling doctor.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Nelly? Elle est encore aux toilettes en train de faire
She didn't
caca?
have a clinic. She'd go
C'est
out
quoi
and
ces
visit
mots-là?
her patients wherever they were. Dealing with the badly behaved ones was her specialty. She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you won't have to hear them wailing and screeching when their condition gets worse.
Huh, she sounds like a pretty strict teacher.
Strict. That's not how my teacher saw it. She thought of herself as terrifying to kids.
Strange way for a doctor to describe themselves. Now Paimon's curious to know what she looked like.
Oh, as it happens, I actually have a picture of her.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that'll terrify the kids.
Yep. All the children she treated thought she was a witch.
Why does it almost sound like you're envious of her?
Oh, because I am. If she was here, all the children would take their medicine without any need for tricks.
A doctor who looks like a witch. True, they wouldn't dare try anything funny with her around.
Oh, me, on the other hand, it's hopeless. Children aren't afraid of me at all.
That's actually a good thing, you know?
Oh, my next patient should be arriving now. Would you mind lending me a hand again?
Sure thing! On to the next mission! Is it nighttime already? That flew by. You really have a busy job, Sigewinne.
Well, thanks to you two, it was much easier today.
Aww. Should we get some rest? It's getting pretty late.
Oh, there is one last thing. I have to keep it confidential, so I usually leave it till after everyone's clocked out.
Confidential? Are you sure you can tell us?
Well, it's fine. You're not living here anymore, so it's okay if you know. All it is I have to prepare some ingredients to make healthy meals with.
Wait, you mean those healthy meals?
My patients refuse to eat any healthy meals I prepare in front of them, So I have to prep the ingredients in secret, then let the chef at the Coupon cafeteria handle the rest.
Considering even the chef's version makes people uneasy, it really makes you wonder what's in it.
You want to find out? I can teach you how to make it. That way, if you ever suffer from exhaustion on your future travels, you can prepare a healthy meal for yourself. It's really good for you, you know.
Sure? Guess we can help out one more time.
The ingredients are ready. Now, put them on the table and add them in the order I tell you. First, we add this special slime condensate, stir it thoroughly, then pour it in. Oh, see that? It adds elasticity. It looks just like tasty jelly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Until you remember it's slime condensate.
Next up, xenochromatic crystals. You want to crush them up into a fine powder, like powdered sugar.
Wait, are those from Fontimer Aberrants? Are you sure they're edible?
Finally, we'll need some high-protein meat. Frogs are an excellent choice. You just need to clean their innards, and then you're left with some lovely, tender meat.
Oh! Frogs.
And we're done. All that's left now is to pack them into lunchboxes and hand them to Walsey. Yesterday in the production zone, I noticed an inmate who's been working for 2 days straight. That means it's a healthy meal for him tomorrow.
Sigewinne really does have the inmate's best interests at heart.
Nigel, je comprends pas pourquoi tu fais pas les quêtes en même temps que moi. C'est tellement fun. En vrai, il y a un monde où j'arrête de les faire. Hein. Mais à chaque fois, enfin, c'est toujours le même problème. Il y a l'histoire, il y a 10-15 minutes de cool. Mais il y a 2 heures de... J'en jette ma bulle. Holy shit. Et c'est en bas en plus. Sayonara. Allez, hop. La cantine, la cantine.
Ah, head nurse.
Tartalia non dictate, je suis bloqué pendant 2 heures, je fais la sieste là. C'est pas le moment de... C'est pas le moment de prendre un personnage. Oh shit. Oh, après j'ai une quête avec une team je crois avec Sigewinne et Tartar. J'essaie déjà d'avoir des persos qui soient pas niveau 40. Qu'est-ce que... Je vois pas le rapport. Le farm c'est 10 minutes par jour. Quel est le rapport avec les quêtes de 2 heures? I don't understand. Surtout que le jeu, enfin ça donne des récompenses quoi. Imagine tu gagnes 4 bouquins quoi. Soit l'équivalent d'une ligne énergétique. Quasiment.
In just one day of helping you with your work, it feels like we've done a lot for the fortress.
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry to disturb you this late at night, but I think you'll agree, this is urgent.
Okay, just relax and catch your breath. What's the matter?
The guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you. One of the inmates there, the guy suffering from possible hallucinations, well, he seems to have made a sudden recovery, and now he wants to apply for permission to leave the ward.
Huh? Already?
You were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make sure he's well before we discharge him.
Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left. We'll come with you.
Faut retourner en haut. Le tarta pour dictat. El tartalia. Grosse team. What the fuck. Oh putain, le vieux design là. Iouh, c'est ça 2020. Holy shit. C'est ça qu'on appelle le charisme. Ah putain. Oh, il est tellement vieux le perso.
Ah, head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but I believe I've now made a full recovery. After giving it some thought, I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things. Stress-related, I imagine. I'd been working long hours, so I definitely wasn't in the best state of mind.
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you, okay? So, take a deep breath and don't be nervous. It'll be the exact same procedure as we did this morning. We can start whenever you're ready.
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Oh, not at all. It's a lot to remember. First up, we have a little cognitive test. Just concentrate and you'll be fine. To start with, which finger am I holding up?
Your pinky.
Alright, all indicators seem normal.
So it was a stress-induced hallucination after all?
Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production zone. I wonder how I managed to miss the signs this time.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting, that's all. Pushed myself too hard, and I guess I couldn't take it. Thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep. And if you can give me the okay, I know I'll sleep better back in my good old dorm.
It can be difficult to relax in an unfamiliar environment. Alright then, you can leave the ward. I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery. I'll take you off the observation list for now, so you're officially discharged.
Great. I can't thank you enough, head nurse.
Mr. Odilon, could you escort him back?
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight, so nothing will go wrong. You have my word.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh?
Yep. But I still haven't gotten around to making that improved lotion for you yet.
Oh, no rush! Seriously, it's super late now. You should go get some rest too.
Well, tomorrow it is then. Good night, Traveler. Good night, Paimon. Hope you sleep well.
Oh, don't you worry. We will. After a productive day of work, we're both gonna sleep like a log. Yeah, sleep tight, Sigewinne. See you tomorrow.
Tu vois, je viens de gagner 4 bouquins, Naliel. Oui, Casso. T'as les copains tués. Du coup, t'as fini le théâtre? T'as fait comment là? Pour savoir si ça arrive à d'autres gens. Attends, c'était quoi? C'était 8h? Ouais, 8h. Le lendemain. 8h midi. C'était le 6, ouais, c'est ça. Fallait faire l'étage 6. Ok. Oula.
Sigewinne. Did sleep like a log. Let's go find Sigewinne. Morning. Guess everything that happened yesterday wasn't just a dream then.
How are you?
It's time for our next fairy tale adventure.
Tiens, je pense que j'ai l'arc de tarte à chier, ce coup. Holy shit. Je crois que c'était mon premier arc 5 stars.
No time to lose.
Pas de temps à perdre.
Oh, how is the infirmary even busier than yesterday?
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. I have a few people here for a checkup,
Ah,
so
les cassos.
you might need to
Du coup,
wait
t'es
for a
bloqué pour le
while.
théâtre pour le moment?
No problem. Anything we can do to help?
Ou alors faut que tu
There's a
sortes
bit
les
of a
vieilles en beurre.
complicated situation here. I'm still getting to the bottom of it myself.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
You're in a medical facility. Keep it down.
Please, listen to me. I'm not Gascon. I'm Uy.
You're a horrible liar, you know that? We get all your mugshots with the arrest warrants. It's clear as day that you're Gascon.
You mean because of the way I look? I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this. Then you guys dragged me in here for an interrogation.
I brought you here to figure out what's going on. If you truly are the victim of an injustice, yelling isn't going to achieve anything. At most, it'll delay your vindication.
All right. I get it.
This is nuts. Yesterday's interrogations went fine, and now this.
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday? The one brought to me by the Marechaussee Phantom? Well, we've been questioning the inmates involved this morning. Every single one of them is claiming mistaken identity.
Huh. That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been able to provide any evidence whatsoever to support their claims. Questioning them further got us nowhere, so for now, we've brought them to the
Ah oui,
infirmary.
parce que même si tu prends des persos, ouais, c'est random dans les rotations. Après c'est pareil, j'avais pas compris tout de suite les... J'osais pas prendre les trucs avec les points.
Have a look.
Alors qu'en fait il faut.
Perhaps there's something we
Rajouter des
missed.
persos, avoir des effets, etc.
Wait.
Release? Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be due for release today.
I noticed that too. If that's their plan, they're underestimating us a little. Every serious offender claims that there's someone else who just so happens to be due for release today. And they're expecting us to go along with that.
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check the release list for today and make sure no one gets processed. We're gonna need an excuse, though. Just say we're out of forms, and that we're furiously printing more as we speak.
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released, so they can walk out right under our noses.
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your investigation. Did that help?
Yes, the inmates' mugshots were attached to the list. The first thing I did was check for lookalikes, and I didn't find any. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices sound a little different today. But it's not exactly hard to put on a fake voice.
Oh, really? What does our head nurse make of all of this?
Give me a moment. I think I have a way to confirm whether there's been a switch. I know, it's not time to change your dressing yet, but please bear with me.
Huh? Isn't that the guy from yesterday?
This should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Court of Fontaine. I authorized him to leave the
Oui, à
fortress for
R45, t'auras
medical
enfin les
treatment
artefacts
under
de
guarded escort.
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Putton.
Il doit
I'm
avoir
Honore.
So there has been a
une
swap.
Furina du feu de Dieu.
Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case, but how do you explain the other inmates? You're not telling me their souls switched bodies, are you?
No, I believe it was their faces that got switched. The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false one in. And actually, I think I can prove it to you. Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric from the other day?
Yeah, sure do.
Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the inmate who claims to be Eric.
Alors, trouver le suspect, on n'est pas dans la merde. Hein. Mhm. It's Henry?
So, you're Eric?
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do believe me, right?
I need to do
Par pitié, arrêtez de faire du hors-sujet, j'ai envie d'en kick un quand vous faites ça.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right?
Quand sur Honkai on revient, il y a 70 messages, dont aucun qui parle de Honkai.
Now, try to recall if you
J'ai envie de
can.
péter mon crâne.
The last time we did this test, which finger did I hold up?
I believe it was your index finger.
But that means...
Huh?
So, basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered and applied to leave the observation ward. Sigewinne did another test before letting him leave, but that time, she held up her pinky finger.
Huh? I don't know about any tests last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed. Then I somehow woke up in a high-security cell.
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation for the strange events of the past 2 days.
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders wanted to break out of prison, so they identified a group of scapegoats, namely inmates whose terms were almost up, and planned to switch appearances with them. Last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their group switch appearances with him using their face-swapping method. That allowed them to avoid scrutiny from the other guards. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon spent his night shift carrying out the remainder of their switcheroo plan. However, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted by the real Eric. Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now. So we put it down to hallucination and sent him to the observation ward. However, since one of the gang members was posing as a guard, they simply changed real Eric's appearance and had their Eric take his place, muddying the waters even further.
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then, and no inmates on that list can be processed for departure until I've discharged them.
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little stunt to get fake Eric off the list.
Yeah, it all makes sense now! The Duke cracked the case!
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out the possibility of face switching very early on in this process.
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the Malazines in the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify criminals in disguise. We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
Huh. Well then, how do we explain all this?
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release, and are using that to commit identity fraud.
En mage pyro, t'as... comment ça s'appelle Yann Fay, qui est l'un de mes persos préférés. Je la joue plus parce qu'il y a 1 milliard de personnages pyro, mais... j'aime beaucoup sa mécanique et elle est très fluide à jouer par rapport à une clé par exemple. Même par rapport à une Mona en termes d'exécution d'attaque. Donc Yann Fay, catalyseur pyro. Essaye dans ton cul, Liliane. Ou dans celui de Zénith peut-être. Essaye au fond à droite, je sais pas, je crois qu'il y a un peu de place.
Please trust me in my professional opinion as an experienced clinician.
At the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places, then have a little talk with both sides, we might just get our answer. Yep, let's do that.
Okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations. And I know it's put you out. We'll do it your way.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked. But we were too late.
Comment ça, pas Zénic?
A bunch of people already got processed 2 hours ago.
What? Choc bar.
I checked the list, and sure enough,
bonsoir,
it's all
Piou.
the people who gave statements.
Comment ça
2
va?
hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began. They had this all planned out.
So there really was a switch after all. They really pulled the wool over our eyes on this one.
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now, right?
Not if that potion is real.
Alors, qu'est-ce que tu nous dis,
They can just
Casso?
switch faces
Gaming?
again after leaving the fortress. And if the Marechaussées Melusines can't even spot them, we wouldn't know where to start searching.
Yikes!
Après, les deux matchs bien. Gaming a même une constellation, je crois, pour gagner de la vie. Je sais pas si tu l'as.
Well,
Ah, mais sinon, ouais,
technically,
Yann
there
fait,
is one
c'est
more
bien Yann fait.
lead we could follow up on. We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine
Mais
Research
bon, elle est
Institute.
louée.
I believe his name is Rawat.
C'est 0 ou c'est 1. Ouais, je sais plus lequel c'est.
Rawat? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at that skincare promotion?
Mais Gaming Furina, ça marche bien. Tu rajoutes un anémo
Maybe from
et
a
un healer
human
et
point of
easy
view.
win.
I just remember that he specialized in potions. One of the crimes this gang is charged with is the manufacture and sale of illicit drugs. According to Mr. Rawat, they appear to have stolen technology he developed through his research and used it in their operation. At first, he thought it was a typical case of intellectual property infringement, and he tried to negotiate with them. But once he discovered their criminal operation, he reported them to the authorities. Thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them all in one go.
What a hero! Bet that took courage on his part.
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that Rawat will be targeted by the escapees. That aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll have some additional information for us.
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime, please keep an eye on the face switch victims for us.
Le meilleur leader pour aller avec Furina, pour moi, c'est Xianyun, Sigewinne,
I'd like to come along and help you
le
catch
pharmacien
these
Beizu.
criminals.
Kokomi, même si son île collectif nécessite qu'elle soit déployée sous ulti.
Eric last night, so I feel partly
Bennett, ça marche pas très bien.
Don't say that, head nurse.
Mais on en avait déjà parlé, je crois que t'as pas
Your
de leader
focus
5
is
stars.
on the
donc,
inmates' health, and rightly so. We can't ask you to help with arresting criminals. That's our duty.
I also have a more
sur la tempo, bah, tu viens de
reason.
rater Sigewinne.
Patton is a patient of mine, and if I don't get a new batch of medicine to him in
Et
time,
sur la perma, t'as quand même Jean et Kiki, ça marche. Hein.
Look, head nurse, I completely understand where you're
Après,
coming
c'est
from.
pareil, Jean elle a un burst heal.
But
Donc
arresting
faut vraiment attendre que
criminals is
tes
dangerous business.
PV soient à la moitié
And
pour
if
ulti.
anything happened to you,
Parce qu'après, c'est qu'un petit
None of
heal
us
sur la
can
durée
afford to take on
pour le
that
personnage déployé, donc
responsibility.
c'est pas ouf. Faut pas le faire en début de rotation, quoi.
I can defend myself just fine.
Et Kiki, faut gérer sa compétence et ses talismans.
If I may, Miss Morgan,
Qu'elle pose soit avec l'ulti, soit avec son passif, là.
and I'm sure
Toutes les
she
30
has
secondes.
far more expertise on the topic than your team.
Et elle a un très très bon heal.
My suggestion would be to bring her with you. And
Je
if
sais
you
pas trop.
really are worried for her
Bah, faut leur jouer full
safety,
recharge
then-
pour qu'elle puisse ulti rapidement. Après, l'avantage, c'est que Jean, tu peux lui mettre verte chasseuse. Donc, tu peux baisser la résistance élémentaire des mobs.
Ah, there you go, right on cue.
Mais il
You
lui
want
faut
to
une
count
arme
on
à
you?
recharge. Donc il lui faut de l'attaque pour l'efficacité de heal et de la recharge
okay.
pour avoir
Well,
l'ulti.
since this plan has the Duke's blessing, far be it from me to refuse. We should head off immediately. Time is of the essence.
Mon équipe manque de nains. Je vais essayer de choper Kiki. J'y pète ça. Et puis Jean, en plus, si tu la constellationnes, si tu la constelles, je sais pas comment on dit, il y a des trucs cool. Notamment la C2, quand elle récupère une particule, elle donne 15% de vitesse de déplacement et d'attaque. Non. Si, les deux. Pendant 15 secondes. What the fuck. Mais regarde, la mienne, par exemple, elle a que 150 de recharge. Mais je lui ai crafté le katana de Inazuma. Qui fait qu'à chaque fois qu'elle touche avec sa compétence, elle gagne une graine. Toutes les 5 secondes maximum. Et quand elle utilise son ulti, chaque graine consommée lui redonne de l'énergie. Donc, j'essaie de mettre 2 fois son R2, une fois au tout début et une fois avant qu'elle lance son ulti. Comme ça, elle regagne direct 24 d'énergie. Donc, c'est assez fort. Voilà. Et après, Kiki, ouais, une arme attaque ou recharge, ça dépend ce que t'as. Attends, ça plus caca où on est là? Pourquoi je me suis TP là? Du coup, je fais même pas gaffe à ce que je fais. Fada.
Greetings.
Zerdani,
Sorry
let's
to
go.
impose, but I'm afraid we're here on urgent business. And we're gonna need you to cooperate.
The marsh is a phantom. Let me
Il
guess.
y a une fesse, elle est dans la permanente. Hein. Tous les 4 stars en fait,
Not this time, no.
ils vont être dispo à leur
We're looking
sortie
for a researcher.
sur la bannière temporaire.
Do you know where we
Et
might
après,
find
une fois que tu
Miss
changes de
Sorator?
version, ils seront disponibles sur la perma.
Oh,
Donc
yeah,
tu peux la choper
Mr.
partout.
Handsome, right?
Il y a une fesse et une
He
4 stars,
actually
oui.
doesn't work on site here very often. There's
Ah oui,
a
mais elle est
handful of
forte, hein.
researchers in the
Elle fait.
nearby area who know him pretty well, though. You can see what they know.
Le problème, c'est qu'après, c'est Clay, sinon, mais Clay, c'est très mauvais, hein, j'aime pas du tout.
Figured he'd be the most popular guy around.
Well, I guess you could say he's popular, at least on a superficial level. He's blessed with good looks, so he tends to make a good first impression on people.
Mais il y a une fée,
But
ouais,
in
je
all
sais
his
plus, ça fait un
time
petit
here at
moment
the
qu'on l'a pas eu
Fontaine
en
Research
focus.
Institute, I don't think he's ever had a single deep conversation about his research with his peers.
Go choper Kiki et Yann faire
No
une
way to
ulti.
make real friends
Bah bonne
around
chance,
here.
hein, parce que bon, on est doré permat, on a quand même plusieurs maintenant. Et puis Yann fait, ouais, il y a combien de 4 stars? Il y en a une trentaine. T'as une chance sur 30 de l'avoir. Sachant que tu peux avoir des armes aussi, donc c'est une chance sur 60.
Didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion.
Oh, I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's good at making friends.
Sinon, il y a le bon vieux Diluc, mais bon, je suis dépassé.
Must be a
Et puis c'est une
Melusine
épée à deux mains.
perception thing.
Okay, we should talk with his
Sinon, après, t'as
acquaintances.
Yoimiya, mais
But
c'est
we also
archer
need to check the
auto-attaque
Research Institute
mono-cible.
for
Hein.
any clues. Let's split up. It'll save us some time.
Au moins, elle attaque à
Sure thing.
distance.
We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Sigewinne. I'm suddenly kind of curious to know
Après, la
what
meilleure en
everyone
pyro,
really
c'était
thinks
Arlecchino,
of
hein,
it.
quand même. Mais bon, tu la rotate du coup. Allez, on remplace Arlecchino. Arlecchino. Oh, 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 oh. Ouais, bah le reste, ça pue la merde. Hein. En vrai, il n'y a pas tant de DPS pyro que ça. Hein. Quand tu vois qu'il y en a beaucoup qui sont anciens. Mais ouais. What the fuck. C'est beaucoup du vieux perso en vrai. À part Liné et Arlecchino, mais. Nul. Sinon, t'as elle. Tu la joues attaque avec un peu de maîtrise, d'autocrit et dégâts crit. En tapant sur de l'eau, elle fera très mal. En plus, en C4 ou C6, je ne sais plus. On t'en est loin, hein, mais... Elle peut même rajouter un bouclier. Ça rajoute un peu de défense à ta team. Hop là.
Sorry to bother you, sir, but are you Bertram?
Who's asking?
Just some concerns.
En vrai, le pyro, ouais, il a pas eu beaucoup de représentants.
But he
Hormis
won't even let you
Arlecchino.
work with him. Now that I've got my own.
So that's what
We
C'est
still
un
like
petit peu
to
le
know
jeu.
where to find him. Is that something you can help us with?
Wait, you're. Yeah, I know you. You're the head nurse at the Fortress of Meripede. Alright, then I'm happy to help you if I can. I respect the work you do. Medicine serves the highest purpose of all the sciences.
Wow, turns out Sigewinne's got some real clout.
Thing is, I have no real way of knowing where he might be. I stopped working with him 2 months ago, and I've barely seen him since. But if you want my advice, I'd say go talk to the peddlers. There's a few he meets with every other day or so. Maybe they know where he's at.
Peddlers?
Yeah, back when I was working with him, I noticed he met with them quite often. Wouldn't surprise me if they were involved in some shady business together, because it seemed like they went out of their way to avoid discussing anything in my presence. The little I overheard was about manufacturing and selling pharmaceutical drugs. Like I said, he's all about the money.
Drugs? Doesn't he work with skincare products? Do those count as drugs?
Who knows? I never cared to find out. He's the Morag rubber, not me.
Thank you. You've given us plenty to work with.
Welcome. Goodbye, and may we both reach new heights in our scientific endeavors.
Alors je dirais pas que la quête me passionne de ouf. Hein. Alors un peu de gameplay. Mais...
Excuse us, are you Audrey?
That's me. What is it?
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out where he is.
Close friends? You mean because I told him I had feelings for him once? I doubt I'm the first or last at the Institute to make that mistake. Why would you single me out as a close friend? I should have known, really. Men like him, they just enjoy being surrounded by fawning women. They're not interested in a serious relationship.
Okay. We were just kind of wondering if you might know where we can find him.
Why would I know where he's at? I barely know him, and he probably doesn't even remember me.
Ugh, this is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else?
I think she knows Rawat better than she cares to admit. If we leave now, it might be a wasted opportunity.
Maybe, but we're not going to get much out of her while she's in this state, are we?
She's displaying symptoms common among people in love, if that's what you mean. But I know a cure.
It's curable?
Oh, we're still no closer to finding Mr. Rawat. Oh, by this point, he could be in grave danger.
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right, yeah! The Marshosei Phantom said that he's been targeted by some pretty bad people. We need to make sure he's safe.
What? How has this happened? He seemed fine when I last saw him, and that was only a couple of days ago. Just happened to run into him, of course.
Oh, I see. Well, do you have any thoughts on where he might be right now?
Okay, but this is purely out of concern for his safety. If he's not at the Institute, he might be at his mother's place. I heard she raised him alone, that they had it pretty tough financially, and these days she's housebound due to illness. He makes regular trips back home to check on her.
Oh, okay. Do you know the address?
Nope, sorry. I only found out the thing about his mother because it came up in conversation once. I was just trying to find out more about him, so I could get to know him better. When I told him I had a crush on him, I offered to help him take care of his mother. And yeah, maybe that was a stupid idea, but did he really have to yell at me for it? It's like, fine, I can take no for an answer, but what's with the temper tantrum? Unbelievable. These guys only want to show you their charming, well-groomed exterior. They can't stand it when a few home truths shine through.
Looks like her love syndrome is flaring up again.
We need to find out Mr. Rawat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marshosei officers when we regroup.
Cool, sounds like a plan.
Comment ça, Lisa C3? C'est de la merde. Mika C1, ouais d'accord. Après Mika, pareil, je t'avais dit, c'est un healer, mais... il est là pour augmenter la vitesse d'attaque, les dégâts des persos physiques.
Hey there, are you in Teep?
What do you want?
Après, ouais, il augmente la vitesse d'attaque, et il a un heal collectif.
Close?
Ça peut être
Not
ok.
sure that's the word I'd use. He wouldn't even let me use his patent.
Huh?
It's been a good few days since I last saw him. I don't know where he's at. Go ask someone else.
Would But the patent in question happened to be
Après, il faut pas mettre tes primogèmes sur la perma, Ikaso. Tout ce qui est sur la perma est sur la temporaire, donc t'as aucun intérêt à...
Yeah, kinda.
mettre tes primogèmes sur la perma.
Whatever he calls it. I heard he made a tidy sum off of that one.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Keep going.
Most of the other researchers here focus on mechanics, energy, stuff like that. I get why he wouldn't be interested in having anything to do with them. But I'm studying coatings. There's a huge overlap in our areas of research. Why would he refuse to work with me? I bought his product once, and noticed it contains a unique substance that might have applications in coatings, too. If it worked out, I could probably make as much as he's making. Don't get me wrong, I had no intention of plagiarizing his work. I was hoping to get official permission to use his findings in my own research. Followed the proper procedure. It was all above board. I would have had to pay him a license fee and everything. But despite that, he turned me down not once, not twice, but 3 times. It's like he's vehemently opposed to the idea of anyone else making the kind of money he does.
Huh, so is Rawat antisocial, or is this guy? Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any info about Rawat's whereabouts from him. Let's go!
Wait, 1 second. Mr. Antibes, next time you go shopping, you should buy some Buell fruits. Peel the skin, steep in water, then drink. It'll help calm your mood.
Huh? Yeah. Thanks.
Well, that's all 3 researchers. Let's head back to the meetup point. You know, Heimat started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality. It's such a surprise to learn that his peers have a different impression of him.
So, what's your view of him now, Paimon?
A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into a profit chaser with a chip on his shoulder?
So your thoughts about his appearance haven't changed at all?
Well, his looks are kind of a big deal. At least in Paimon's opinion. How did such a handsome guy end up being so antisocial? Even with his difficult family background, it just doesn't make any sense.
You can't judge a person solely based on their appearance.
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken with the researchers. What did you find out?
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchants. Do you know if he's registered any pharmaceutical brands?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him. I don't remember there being any brands under his name.
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and averse to sharing his technology with others, why wouldn't he have registered his own brands? Maybe he and his business partners needed to avoid public scrutiny?
You think he may have colluded with the gang? Well, the crime was manufacture and sale of drugs, and that would certainly be in his wheelhouse. We can't rule it out.
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the one who blew the whistle on them!
Most children who come to me with tooth decay have suffered pain for a long time already, but they'll still try to hide the fact that they eat too many sweets. Grown-ups and children aren't so different in that regard.
If you say so.
I saw him when he came to make his report, and I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's more likely that they were coercing him. You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible that the criminals approached him asking for academic support, luring him in with the promise of riches. By the time he discovered who they really were, he was in too deep. They had leverage on him, so he was forced to keep working for them. I've seen it happen many times before.
That does make a lot of sense. It would definitely explain why he was so unwilling to cooperate with his fellow researchers. No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his neck.
In that case, The situation could be worse than we thought. If Rawat was working with the escaped inmates, they're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us. Oh, there's a good chance they'll get to him before we do.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen 2 days ago. If no one's seen him since, maybe we're too late.
2 days ago? So he went missing right after that product promotion.
That was the same day he reported the criminals, too. Not a good sign.
Don't worry, everyone. I believe we still have a chance. Since he disappeared right after blowing the whistle, it's likely that he's gone into hiding.
Yeah, he must have been worried that they'd come for him.
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you mentioned earlier. Seath, think you can find the place?
Yep. When you register a brand, the Court of Fontaine requires you to provide a legal address. The one Rawat wrote down was in the outskirts of the city. That should be the place.
Okay, then there's no time to lose. Let's move.
J'adore les quêtes de personnages. N'a jamais dit personne. Ah, c'est un de Mika, fais voir. Je crois que je l'ai même pas, je l'ai laissé 0 moi. Ah non, je l'ai laissé 1 quand même. Ok. C'est la saisie, ce qui est fort pour les persos physiques, qui augmente les dégâts crit de 60% sur les dégâts physiques.
No time to lose.
Oh. Let's go. Oh, une fausse monte. Est-ce qu'on se fait attaquer? Non, ça va, y a pas de plan qui m'agresse pendant le blabla.
Pretty sure this was the address.
Okay, I'll knock.
Sounds like whoever's inside has restricted mobility. Oh, it seems serious. Oh, what's the fastest way to get this door open?
Break the door down?
No, I'll handle it. Let the expert deal with it. There'll be a mountain of paperwork if we damage a citizen's property. Calm down. Deep breaths. Remember your training. Control your strength. And... it's open!
Seath, take a few people and lie in wait. Keep your eyes peeled for any activity around the house. The Traveler, head nurse, and I will go inside.
Go dans la maison. La quête est longue. Ouais. Ça fait 1h18 en laissant défiler.
Oh, there.
Je pense qu'elle va durer dans les 2 heures encore.
C'est pas That's gotta be Rawat's mother, right? She doesn't look like she's in any state to be answering our questions, though.
Au moins ça me laisse le temps de surfer sur TikTok.
We could try, but she is very ill. We mustn't force it.
Well, doesn't look like Rawat's here. She's the only one we can talk to.
Yep. Allow me. Hello, ma'am. Might I ask if you're Rawat's mother? We are trying to locate him. Hard of hearing, perhaps. Does anyone have a picture of Rawat?
I have one here.
I'd like to show you a photo, ma'am. Is this your son? Do you know where he is?
Looks Looks like this isn't gonna work after all.
Well, looks like we're out of leads. If Rawat's not here, things are looking very bad for him.
Is it possible he could have avoided returning here because he knew he'd be in danger?
Maybe. But if so, where do we look next? Maybe we should take another look at the Institute.
Guess so.
I suggest we all return there now. We found a good amount of useful information the first time, but perhaps there's something we missed. This is our last hope.
Sorry, officer, but could I stay here for a while? This patient requires some care.
Of course. Traveler, stay with the head nurse. You're technically here as her assistant.
Also, I'd like some Marechaussee members to stay as well, and keep an eye on the area.
Why's that?
If Rawat knows how serious his mother's condition is, he will return.
Got it. Okay. I'll tell the squad members in hiding to stay put and keep a lookout.
Thanks for helping me out yet again, Traveler and Paimon.
No problem. But when you say her condition is serious, do you mean...
Yes. She's barely clinging on to life.
Oh.
Let me take care of a few things first. Could you pass me the towel over there?
Yeah, of course.
I can tell that her family has tried a lot of different treatment methods, including some very expensive medicines. Unfortunately, her condition is so multifaceted that a recovery looks all but impossible.
Sigewinne. Paimon bets being a nurse must be pretty tough at times like this.
Yes, it makes me a little sad. In Melizine's eyes, a human's birth, aging, sickness, and death are as much a part of natural law as sunrise and sunset. But human medicine can defy that law to some extent. In that sense, it is a science of miracles. That is why I became fascinated with it in the first place. But it was only after I truly became a doctor that I realized miracles don't always happen. Even the greatest doctors cannot cure all diseases.
Sigewinne.
Oh, don't worry about me, Paimon. A doctor's duty is not to cure all diseases, but to treat whatever ailments they can. At the very least, I can lower her fever. That way she'll suffer less, and she might even be able to see her son.
Yeah, all the more reason to find Rawat as soon as possible, even if we don't catch those crooks.
Oh, her fever is getting worse. Could I get some hot water?
Sure, we're on the case.
Comment ça, Zénic? Laissez la vieille mourir en paix. What the fuck? Faut que j'aille chercher de l'eau chaude. Pourquoi ça brille? Y a pas de l'eau chaude ici. L'eau chaude. Attends, je peux m'asseoir. L'eau chaude, mais je sais pas moi. Mais... J'ai juste envie de dire...
Sure did. And look what else we found. Judging by this journal, it seems like Rawat has a private lab. There's a good chance he could be there right now. We gotta go tell Officer Morgan right away.
Oh, that's great news. But hold on just a moment. The wet towel is ready. I'm giving you another injection. Are you feeling better now? It's all right. We'll go bring him back. Please hang in there. Thank you.
Allez, encore 4 bouquins. Pef, pef. Incroyable. Oh les mains. Peau de lapin. La maîtresse en maillot de bain. Gosse. Pourquoi on peut pas aller sur cette montagne? Nul. Gosse TP. Zénith, j'ai vu. Potentiellement les bannières de la 5.0. Putain, j'ai envie de me fight là. Il est encore là, dictate, ou il est parti se coucher? Après, ils sont pas très forts ceux-là. J'ai rien fait, ils sont déjà à moitié morts. Mais c'est bien pas des légendes locales, c'est quoi ces merdes là? What the fuck? D'accord. Je crois qu'ils étaient plus costauds que ça, ouais, super. Choc barre de baiser. Tarta n'a rien fait. Étonnant.
It's Officer Morgan! They're already here!
We came as soon as we heard the news. I can't believe we were so careless. The most crucial information of all was hiding right there, in that room. And we missed it.
Don't blame yourself.
Bonsoir Acte, comment ça va? Est-ce que tu es heureux de venir sur le meilleur contenu du jeu?
Hopefully the instructions in Rawat's journal will help us open it.
Oh, la quête de Sigewinne, quel plaisir. J'ai hâte que tu la rattrapes. Ah oui, tant que j'y pense, je t'ai pris aussi le pack PS Plus. Sache qu'il y a... Donc il est gratuit quand t'es abonné PS Plus. Hein. Tu as 160 primogèmes, hein. Faut pas oublier de le prendre. C'est pas grand chose, mais ça existe quoi. À la direction de là-bas où... Allez hop. Tu as vu qui? Indice, il est à Nemo, il est dans ma team actuellement. Voilà. Et avec le Dendro, on aurait un très très bon perso électro de type Archon. Mais j'ai dit aucun pseudo, hein, attention. Mais bon. On s'en fout, c'est leur Milan. Putain, mais ils m'ont donné Sigewinne, elle a combien de PV là, c'est enfin la leur, non 43 000. 43 000 à Wadda. Bonsoir Actelien, merci. Fada. Merci pour le Prime. Comment est-ce el bambini? Donc avec son arme qui donne 1 milliard de PV, elle a que 46 000. Foutez de ma gueule. La Tarta il sert à rien en fait, hein. C'est une dinguerie. Je pépéo.
According to our list, many of the fugitives aren't accounted for. There may be others hiding deeper inside the facility.
Alors Astez, sachant que j'ai fait une multi hier, je pense qu'on peut dire que tu me rembourses un vœu plutôt si je préfère. Non mais bien sûr que c'est pas sûr. C'est juste que si ça se confirme, je vais peut-être tenter une arme sur... J'en sais rien, faut voir. Déjà on va voir comment ça se passe avec... avec Emily. Ça dépendra si je gagne les 50-50 en fait. Sachant que l'Archon devrait arriver en 5.2 j'imagine. Si je veux la C2, il faut que je garde de la réserve. Quoi. Je sais pas. Pourquoi elle se tord le pied comme Weasley? Je sais pas si tu te rappelles quand Weasley se retourne, son pied il fait un 180 degrés. Ça n'a aucun sens. Il n'a pas commencé à tourner le buste que le pied il est déjà retourné. Je joue sur Xbox Series X. La chance. Est-ce que toi aussi t'as une copine espagnole?
DuPont, stay here and keep guard. And watch the exit. If we're not back soon, call for reinforcements.
Got it.
Après oui, t'as un peu la même ambiance là, un peu policière. Ouais bah j'imagine parce que c'est la prison. Navia. Attends, je regarde parce que j'ai quand même chopé une Kirara pour pouvoir l'avoir C2 avec l'event. Ah, je suis qu'à 6 de pitié du coup. Enfin, pitié violette. Pitié normale, je dois être à 12, 14, je sais plus. 10. Je suis à 12 de pitié. Une single. 8. Oh. Du blue. Une épée céleste, qui est une bonne épée en vrai. Une épée recharge. 326 astéries, oui. Je les garde en fait, Asnez. Et je les garde parce que je me dis qu'un jour, il y aura peut-être des nouvelles armes. Je te rappelle que j'ai quand même acheté toutes les armes de roche noire en raffinement 5. Hein. Et ça coûte un petit peu cher. Donc si un jour, déjà si je suis en galère de vœux, voilà, je peux me permettre de faire 65 vœux. Et si un jour il y a des nouvelles armes ici, je peux me permettre, voilà. Je me garde une réserve. Et là, oui, j'ai payé, tu peux dire que j'ai payé, mais... C'est en cumulant les invoques et en les économisant. Sachant que j'ai toutes les roches noires R5. Ah, par contre, les autres, nul à chier. J'ai pris une fois la lance full attaque. Pas terrible. Même si en vrai, sur un sub DPS que t'aimes pas trop, bon, ça peut faire le taf. Si tu veux pas lui mettre une autre arme qui serait utilisée par un autre personnage plus important. Et si tu, comme moi, préfères avoir une arme différente par personnage, why not? Mais laisse tomber. Mais bon, vu que le Battle Pass s'était renouvelé avec Fontaine, j'espérais un renouveau aussi des armes. Avec les astéries, mais non, non. Donc je pense que ça se fera jamais en fait. Mais bon.
So many jars. Was this some sort of production facility?
This scent. It's probably the ingredients used to make butterfly dew.
Tu penses que Fiasco vaudra Swarn après ou pas? Sachant que je dois normalement faire les profondeurs, mais au pire je les ferai demain.
How come they're all empty? Did it sell so well that he ran out of supplies?
How strange. Why would Rawat choose to manufacture a popular product like that in such a difficult-to-reach location? Given our suspicion that he may have been coerced into the illegal drug trade, I would have thought that any production facility we find here would be used for illicit purposes.
Perhaps butterfly dew is itself an illegal drug.
Do you have any evidence for that claim?
No, just a guess. We need to find Rawat as soon as possible. He has all the answers we need.
Understood. Well, let's not linger here. Let's go. Come on.
JPP. Parce qu'à 3, est-ce qu'il n'y aurait pas un meilleur équilibre si je joue Léona ou Séraphine? Le problème c'est que Séraphine, pour être utile, faut jouer proche quoi. Sinon mon shield, vous l'aurez dans mon popotin. Enfin vous l'aurez pas quoi. Alors, je regarde toujours droite à gauche hein, s'il n'y a pas un coffre qui traîne. Mais pas l'impression.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get this door open. Let's find another way around. This one's closed too. What's with those carts and tracks? Oh, maybe it's one of those doors that opens when it senses cargo passing through. There's a loaded cart right over there. Let's bring it to the door and give it a try.
Grosse cachette. Il y a un artefiac.
Incroyable, c'est le plus beau jour de ma vie. Je ne pouvais rêver mieux.
Tourner vers la gauche. Pousse.
Time to go.
Est-ce que ça va faire bim bam boum? Ah d'accord. Ça c'est de l'animation. Incroyable. Je suis... Pourquoi il y a un coffre là? Pourquoi il y a un coffre? Qu'est-ce que... Non c'est après.
Follow the wind.
Pas besoin de support. Casser les merdes. Ah merde, c'est pas fini. Oh les shit. Oupsie.
One with nature.
Wow. Ah ouais, Zénig, mais c'est casse-couille. Le problème, c'est que t'as posté, donc j'ai pas pu faire une commande pour supprimer. Mais j'en ai marre, je vais finir par en kick un. Hein. J'ai redit tout à l'heure à Naliel de vive voix. Je crois que la prochaine fois, ce sera un motif de kick pour Jacques. Hein, écoute. Parce que le problème, c'est vu que t'as posté, en fait, j'aurais dû clear et te demander de reposter. Parce que j'ai une commande pour clear rapidement. Tiens, on va essayer de taper dans la porte à droite, je suis pas sûr que ça fasse quelque chose, mais... À droite, j'ai dit what? Bah, la droite. Attends, mais c'est la droite... l'autre droite? Qu'est-ce que... C'est quand on est derrière, je crois. D'accord. Ça va rien faire. D'accord, super. Perte de temps. Je vais voir si ça allait ouvrir la porte ou quoi. Du coup, tout ça pour dire, ouais, la prochaine fois, je clearerai, tant pis. Hein. Mais c'est chiant de devoir passer sur un salon et de faire un clic 70 parce qu'ils savent pas... Ils savent pas utiliser un Discord correctement. On fait des salons, c'est pas pour les chiens, je sais pas. Et c'est chiant parce que ça se répète depuis plusieurs semaines. Et je suis comme un connard pendant 5 minutes. À cliquer comme un débile. Attends, du coup, c'est dans ce sens-là ou dans l'autre, je sais pas. Et... Droite. Donc là, c'est l'autre sens par rapport à l'autre. Ok, super. J'ai aucune idée de ce que je fais. J'essaie d'emmener un chariot. Mais... Il y en avait un ici, pourquoi je m'emmerde à... Attends, quoi? Incompris. J'aimerais bien pouvoir aller sur mon Discord et pas être obligé de modérer des discussions débiles en fait. Oh, j'ai envie de péter mon crâne. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Dégage-toi. Ouais, il raconte de la merde sur des salons. Genre là aujourd'hui il y avait été comme sur Genshin, sur Honkai, tous les 1 mois et demi il y a un live présentation. Et du coup Zeni qui poste les trucs, il dit ouais plus tard j'enverrai les récaps machin. Et ils sont 4 à avoir spammé de la merde sur le salon. Et c'est chiant parce que du coup tu te retrouves pas, enfin ouais. Ça dit de la merde, c'est nul. Alors que t'as le salon général pour ça quoi. T'as un salon dédié à un jeu et ils vont parler de merde à la merde. Et le problème c'est que ça dure depuis des mois et c'est chiant. Et puis l'arrivée de Jack n'a rien arrangé. C'est un peu fatigant en force. Parce qu'il y a des endroits où tu te fais kick directement, mais bon là c'est des gens qu'on connaît un peu donc ça fait un peu chier quoi. Enfin certains qu'on connaît bien même. Donc je sais pas. Surtout qu'Assens aura déjà dit aussi, enfin je sais pas. Je t'envoie un message à la con, je veux bien mais pas 70. Enfin, c'est n'importe quoi. Parce qu'après quelqu'un qui veut repasser sur le salon, bah il va rien comprendre. Il va voir que ça dit n'importe quoi, il va jamais repasser. Enfin, non, je suis désolé. Surtout que c'est un jour où ceux qui veulent parler du jeu, bah c'est le jour où ça parle le plus, entre guillemets. Vu que c'est le live présentation de la prochaine version. Bon, soit rien de dramatique, mais bon, j'ai juste envie que le Discord reste un minimum rangé et lisible. Et s'ils veulent faire de la merde, ils le font en privé ou à la limite sur le général, mais... Ils étaient en train de parler de GTA et de braquage sur le salon Honkai, s'il te plaît. I don't get it. Et il n'y a pas d'option pour modérer et effacer rapidement des messages. Tu dois les supprimer un par un. Ou alors il y a des bots, tu fais un slash clear, il va enlever par exemple... bah, si je mets 70, ça va enlever 70 messages. Mais ça va tout enlever. Même les messages intéressants dans le lot, donc... C'est chiant aussi. Hein. Donc je sais pas... Ils ont pas 12 ans et demi, ils sont capables de... respecter 3 règles à la con quand même. Enfin... Même s'il y en a un, bon... On me demande s'il est pas un peu beurré des fois. Donc en gros j'étais sur le PC avec Asnez tout à l'heure, on faisait des games du nouveau mode de LoL là. Et à chaque fois qu'il y avait une game qui se lançait, t'as genre 30 secondes avant que la game se lance, bah je supprimais les messages un par un. Et ça me casse les couilles, hein, parce que j'aimerais bien ne pas avoir à le faire en fait. Voilà. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc? Comment elle tient Sigewinne là? What?
Are you serious? You're telling us that within a day, our faces are going to rot like yours?
Bon, j'ai plus d'eau, je vais chercher de l'eau. Et j'espère qu'il n'y aura pas d'option de dialogue tout de suite. Je reviens. Elle est sur les épaules de Lumine. Ouais, enfin, tordu comme ça, ça me paraît un peu bizarre. Bon, c'est un truc cartoonesque. Bref, je reviens. Et c'est là qu'on a la scène ultime et je rappe.
Consider an ugly mug getting off lightly.
Ugh. You're just lucky we didn't leave you in there after you disappeared on us with no warning. We only let it slide because we're former partners. And now you have the gall to pull a stunt like this?
Partners? Make no mistake, each of us is only looking out for himself. If you place too much trust in others, well, I'm afraid that's your problem. You hid things from me too. Remember how you each had a spare potion? You kept quiet about it until we planned the prison break?
Oh, and you didn't have a secret spare? Then do you want to explain how you melted your face off before all this?
Guys, that's enough. Calm down. It is what it is. Arguing won't change anything. What's the plan, Parton? I'm assuming you brought us here for a reason?
There is no plan. We followed him here on the promise of more juice, but it turns out there ain't a drop here. Besides, what does it matter now anyway? He already said, even if we did get our hands on more of that stuff, switching faces again solves nothing. They're still gonna meld off eventually.
I said enough arguing. Parton, tell us the plan.
Comment ça?
The most practical solution is to continue using the potion.
J'ai même pas
Keep switching to a new
autant
face
Potson,
before
j'ai
the
retenu.
ulcers can start forming.
Are you kidding me?
Mais oui, c'est bizarre de changer une lettre.
Even when we had a supply.
Ça pourrait plaire à...
Now you're asking us to use it like skin
Pardon.
lotion after the flood all but wiped the supply out?
Well, there is another option. But you'll have to make a deal with me first.
Okay, now we're talking. What's the deal?
I have a document I took from that researcher that details how to make a replacement. Just give me one bottle of the undiluted fluid, and I'll get to work. What's the problem? I thought you always kept reserves. Or do you really just have one spare bottle each?
What do you think? That we were shipping them into the fortress of Meripede by the basket load?
Well then, say hello to never showing your marred faces in public again.
Ugh, I've heard enough! Get him! Let's see if that document even exists!
Freeze! Marshall, say Phantom!
What? Who let them in?
Officer Morgan, before anything else, please find out Rawat's status.
Rawat?
I don't see him. Hand over the hostage now, if you want any chance of avoiding an extension to your sentences.
Spare us your condescending attempts to coax us back to our cells. You think we're looking to negotiate? Rawat is dead.
Parton?
Arrest them all! Don't let anyone get away!
C'est l'heure de la bagarre. Mais attendez, mais je pose la manette à chaque fois. Ça va peut-être durer un peu plus longtemps, on va peut-être avoir le temps de sortir. Tartalia. Ou pas, bon, c'est parti. Ça va, une petite
Shouldn't let your guard down.
Huh. Gotta say, I never expected to see the head nurse in combat.
Some patients respond better to a more aggressive treatment plan. Did we get everyone?
Captain, we finished the head count. Potten's missing.
Over there! The door's closing!
One group trying to arrest me, another trying to hunt me down. Good. I gotta kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
How did he get up there? There must be a secret passage somewhere. Find it!
Don't waste your energy. I already sealed it off.
How naive. We have more people outside. If we're not back out by the agreed time, they'll come to our rescue.
Well then, you'd better hope they get here in time.
There's some kind of gas leaking from the pipes. Be careful, it's poisonous.
This is our distribution center, where we store the product derived from our source solution. We had to use special fire prevention methods to prevent contamination. The pipe network here was designed to emit a gas for firefighting. One little modification later, and it makes an efficient death trap.
Why would you do this? Your partners are here too.
Oh, please. If they can't supply what I need, they're of no further use to me. Besides, I can't have them exposing my potential whereabouts.
He's a maniac! Come on, we gotta find a way to open that door!
Go ahead, struggle in vain. Once the last of you croaks, no one will ever find me again. So long!
Are you sure you're ready to leave, Potten? You haven't changed your dressing today.
You can't cure my face, just give up.
And what if I could?
Nice try. You're just trying to stall me. Don't you worry about me. I'll find a way to cure my face once I get out of here.
Oui. Mais ça veut, oui, ça veut pas dire maniaque comme chez nous. Maniaque.
Fontanians can no longer
C'est pas
dissolve in
oui, c'est
primordial
fou.
seawater.
C'est pas le mec qui fait faire le ménage.
How did you...
The key component of the face-changing potion is the fluid left behind by dissolved Fontanians. It might look like ordinary water, but it has some unique elements in it. Before the flood, all Fontanians were oceanids, physiologically speaking. A potion made from that fluid could dissolve and reconstruct the face of a Fontanian in much the same way as hydroidolins change form. Theoretically, it could give someone any appearance they wished. But since the flood, Fontanians have become true humans. They can no longer provide the source material for this potion, nor reap its benefits.
Are you saying this potion is made from Fontanians dissolved with primordial seawater? Then their crimes are far worse than I thought.
How could you know all of this? No, wait. Of course! Well, well. So that's why you have a human appearance.
It also means that I have a formula you're unaware of. The air's getting thicker. It's getting hard to breathe.
Bonne soirée, Casso.
I might get to make a deal today after all.
Ciao.
All right, keep talking. How do you intend to give me the formula?
Oh, it's not a formula, but a finished product. I have a bottle of it right here.
What?
When I tried Rawat's skincare product, I noticed it had a certain special component in it. So I had my friends gather some other ingredients for me, and sure enough, a little experimenting later, I'd produced the potion. I'm guessing his skincare lotion contains the fruits of your joint research?
Huh. Impressive guesswork. Yeah, we were his supplier for some of the raw ingredients. But it only contains a tiny amount of the active ingredient. The effect is minuscule compared to the undiluted fluid.
Well, I found a way to reverse the dilution process, giving the skincare lotion a similar effect to the fluid it is derived from.
That's impossible.
If I tell you some of the ingredients, I think you can figure it out. First, you need to combine tainted hydrophantasm tissue with transoceanic pearls at a ratio of around 3 to 7.
Tainted hydrophantasms and transoceanic pearls. I see. Can't believe I never thought of that.
So, can we make a deal?
Sounds good to me. There's a delivery pipeline beneath this window. Drop the potion in, and I'll release you all.
Nope, not trusting you that easily. You're like those naughty kids who try to hide their illness. Open the sluice gate first, then I'll hand you the potion.
Even if you're not bluffing, your potion won't cure my face permanently. You really think you have any leverage here? I'm not closing the valve this time. Clock's ticking.
Fine, then I'll just stand here with the potion in my hand. And when I faint from the poison, I'll drop it and it'll be destroyed.
No.
It's open! Disable that sluice gate! Jam it! Don't let it close again!
That's more like it. In that case, a promise is a promise.
Head nurse, there's too much poison gas in here. We have to leave, now!
C'est une très bonne question, Zanik.
That was too close. That button is a real nasty piece of work.
Oh, don't be too quick to sit down. Moving around a little will help relieve the soreness. Same goes for you, Traveler. Oh, but Paimon, you should be fine, right?
Flying fast is pretty tiring too, actually. Anyway, that's not important right now. Paimon's still shocked to learn that there's a whole criminal operation going on behind that skincare lotion.
Shame I ended up giving the improved version to Potten after finally making it for you. I'll make you some more, I promise.
No, please don't. Paimon doesn't want to use that stuff anymore. Still, it was a pretty good... Yeah, Paimon was just kidding.
Head nurse, I've done a final head count of our team and the criminals. Everyone's here and doing fine. We're ready to escort the fugitives back to the fortress of Meripede. It's a shame that we didn't find Rawat. At this point, I'm afraid he's probably deceased.
What a horrible bunch. Especially that Potten guy. If he hadn't made good on that deal, we'd all be dead because of him.
No, we wouldn't. I always keep a whole bunch of antidotes on me for emergencies. And one of them neutralizes that poison gas. We'd have been fine, even if you hadn't opened the gate.
What? Then why did you give him the potion?
If this is true, I must concur. Sorry to be blunt, but I think you made a bad decision by handing him that bottle. If he changes his appearance and flees Fontaine, it's unlikely that we'll ever find him. No matter how cooperative his accomplices are when we question them.
No, you don't understand. I gave him the potion precisely so we could be sure where he'll go next.
What do you mean?
We gotta hurry. She won't last much longer.
Rendez-vous à la destination de Purton. Ok, Purton, là c'est Taipei. Bon. J'ai envie de dire déjà vu. Hein. Je peux plus marcher 1000 ans là. Merde. Pardon. Je Je cherche Yelan. Where is my Yelan? Yelan, where are you? Attends, quoi? Ah putain. Finalement, c'était peut-être pas un gain de temps. Holy shit. Putain, elle m'attend depuis tout à l'heure, la plante là, elle a pas bougé. Je suis choc barre. 10 000. Nul. Et donc là, elle attend qu'elle attaque. Casse-toi. Putain, elle tank même le géo, donc c'est que j'ai pas le coup, je crois. Oh, putain de merde, tu casses les reins. Castolo, Castolo. Merci.
Don't move a muscle. I might be short, but I pack a mean punch. Captain, you're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying to find a way in. So I detained him.
Oh, his face.
Are you... Potton? So this is where you were heading, huh?
What?
This is how Potton looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot on his arrest warrant.
I see. Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would he change back to his original face and run right into our trap?
Enough of this nonsense. Let me in.
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in there who's very sick. No way are we letting a crook like you inside.
To heck with it. Listen to me. I'm Rawat. That's my mother in there.
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it against his will. How can he and this monster be the same person?
Forced against his will? That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. Back when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. And then when I actually became a criminal in my own right, you all suddenly thought I must be under duress. Amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Save us the speech. Explain yourself.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is. When I was just Potton, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want? Get away from me.
Women despise me.
Collaborate? You don't look like much of a researcher to me.
My peers scorned me.
Mr. Potton, was it? I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment opportunities.
Only villains would work with me.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some Marechaussee Phantom officers. Easy mistake to make. Now they've listed you as an accomplice and drawn up an arrest warrant. So I suggest you put any thoughts of running away to rest. If you get caught by the guards for being in the synth business, you ain't ever seeing the light of day again.
There was no way out for me. Until I could stop being Potton.
Mr. Rawat, I have something I'd like to tell you.
I became popular with women.
This new potion you developed is fascinating. Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me? I'd be happy to sign a licensing agreement.
My peers looked up to me.
Okay, I'm very interested in your research, sir. You must no doubt have offers from countless investors. So far be it for me to ask for a full collaboration, per se. I merely wanted to express my interest. No pressure at all, naturally.
And the villains even began to fear me. Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world we live in. But I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be made to work in my favor. Or so I thought. But alas, the world seemed bent on finding a reason to make me despise it. Mother, I'm back. How are you doing?
Who are you?
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but when everyone else rejected me, the only person who cared about me was my mother. Then, when I became a rising star in the Fontaine Research Institute, I was unrecognizable to her.
I have to let her see me again. Even if it means donning my own wretched, ugly face. Well, is that enough explaining for you? Now do you understand? Let me inside already!
Have you ever considered if you'll even be able to look your mother in the eyes after what you've done? You found a way to completely change your identity. You could easily have escaped from them. But no, you chose to keep working with them.
Why would I want to give up on such a lucrative business? The profits were dozens of times that of the synth business, and it was all above board.
So you kept being a villain just for the money?
Villain? By what standard? Is doing evil deeds really what makes someone a villain in your eyes? Or does it all come down to the way they look? None of you saw a villain when I was wearing my other face, did you? You have no right to judge me! You're all just fake people living in a hypocritical world! I regret nothing! My mother would understand!
You're a villain to the core, but especially
On s'en fiche.
Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face either.
Don't humor me. You don't seem surprised by my confession in the least. How long have you known the truth?
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives.
Ça fait 2 heures
But
que j'ai
if
lancé
you're
la
asking when I
quête.
started suspecting you, it was the first time you came to see me at the infirmary. I had to confirm my suspicions. That's why I chose to join this investigation.
Are you kidding me? A young, promising researcher and a wretched criminal? What on earth gave you the idea that they could be one and the same person?
Well, there were no visual clues.
Et c'est toi qui grince.
Face-changing effects are very powerful. Even as a Melusine, I couldn't see through the disguise. But I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind. Humans have certain fundamental qualities that do not change with their appearance.
Fundamental qualities, huh? So you think you're the one who's seen through me, do you? Most people probably don't know this, but I think I can guess what your deal is. Melusine constitutions are very close to that of water, so it stands to reason that the potion should work on them too. You use it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
Sigewinne?
Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melusines were discriminated against because of their appearance. It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race cast out by humanity, or become the head nurse of the fortress of Meripede, revered by all. Not a hard choice to make. It's a no-brainer. So you see, you and I were the same. And I'm the one who saw through you!
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother, didn't you? Well, I can grant you your wish.
Huh?
Head nurse, I'm not sure that's a good idea in his current state.
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for our lives, I was doing it to test him. He was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange for the potion. Also, he could see his mother again. If nothing else, his concern for his mother is genuine.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother one last time. The Traveler and I will accompany him. You have nothing to worry about.
All right. I understand.
Soon fiasco. Soon. Et encore, normalement, je dois faire les profondeurs, mais... je les ferai demain, je pense.
Mom? It's me, Potton, your son. You recognize me now, don't you? Mom, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here, and it appears that due to her prolonged fever, she's lost her eyesight.
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you. But there are always other ways to remind our loved ones who we are. Wouldn't you say?
No, it can't be. Please, Mom, open your eyes. It's me, your son, Potton. If you really can't see my face, then here, take my hand. Tell me you feel your son's hand. I've done so much to get to this point. Please, you have to recognize me. No.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all.
It's you. Thank you.
Of course.
Mom, why will you answer her and not me? Why?
No more questions, Potton. She's gone.
Mom?
I'm sorry to say this, Potton, but you and I are not the same.
Mais oui, fiasco. Après, j'ai quand même suivi les premières minutes. C'était intéressant sur l'origine de la transformation de Sigewinne. Et c'est toujours pareil. J'ai déjà dit il y a genre 1h30. Hein. Il y a un fond d'histoire intéressant. Mais...
And it's selling as fast as last time. Wonder what people would think if they knew what was in the last batch. Oh, Sigewinne's here too! Hey, Sigewinne!
Oh, Traveler Paimon, hello! Oh, I hope you two got a good rest yesterday after all your hard work.
Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Anyway, are you here to take notes for your next article?
Actually, I'm mostly here to help Officer Morgan wrap up yesterday's case.
Ah, that reminds Paimon. That stuff sold like crazy, didn't it? Is it gonna cause huge problems?
Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Unless modified, Butterfly Dew is an excellent skincare product that's completely safe to use. Besides, officers have already retrieved all Butterfly Dew purchased on the market. Now it's just a matter of disposal. After consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects, so it'll evaporate naturally without polluting water or soil.
Wow, it's Sigewinne to the rescue again!
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse. All the butterfly dew we recovered has been disposed of, according to your instructions.
Great! Good job, everyone!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of Rawat's interrogation records. Well, technically, Potton's records. Anyway, I have them with me. Here. After he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no resistance during the interrogation, and answered all our questions. We learned a lot. Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance, while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, he came up with the idea to dilute it and use the resulting substance as a skincare product. Their supplier was Vache, but you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. His operation helped Vache's gang dispose of an enormous amount of evidence. It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash was another man's treasure, and there were no loose ends. It's no wonder we never noticed what Potten's gang was up to.
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the harm he caused?
Make no mistake, the crimes of Vache and his accomplices will come to an end. It's only a matter of time. Since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods, like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. Naturally, those attempts all ended in failure. After receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on the gang and eventually round them up.
That sounds more like it.
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner, even though he made a point of distancing himself from the gang while disguised as Rawat. He tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices, giving him enough time to transform back into Potten and see his mother one last time. But there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though Potten had been missing for a long time, we were very much still on the lookout for him. So the moment he appeared in public after changing back to his original appearance, we caught him.
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to see him again. But in the end...
Looking at the interrogation records, it seems like he spent the first sum of money he earned as Rawat on his mother's treatment.
Yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed, but a desire to become somebody who had the power to save her. Even so, he went too far. In the end, he got what he deserved.
I understand. Thank you for bringing me these records.
Why did you want them anyway?
Potten was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher always stressed that a person's life experiences are just as important to their file as their medical history.
Why are you still treating him like your patient? Isn't he kind of beyond redemption now?
That may be true, but a patient is a patient, regardless of the choices that bring them to my care.
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know about this potion a secret. It would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officers and I will be able to sleep easier if that's the case.
Of course.
Je comprends pas ton message, Fiasco.
Thank you for understanding. I'll take my leave then.
Ça fait que 2h13. Imagine.
So, Sigewinne, did you really use that potion yourself?
Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon? I told you all about it. It was quite a while ago now.
You mean that story about the witch and the potion? So it was really, actually, genuinely a true story?
Yes, it really actually genuinely was.
But...
I know. There are some secrets I can't tell anyone about. But considering everything we've been through together, I know I can trust you with them. Before I tell you though, could you follow me somewhere? I want to pay my respects to an old friend.
Of course!
Bah, je te tiens en jus, Fiasco. Même si j'ai encore un peu de résine à faire, il y en aura pour 5 minutes. T'as débloqué le mode difficile, Fiasco? Pour la Swarm? Or not yet?
Oh, Nervalette and Risley, they're here too.
Good to see you, traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been going well for you.
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on important business.
Hmm? Is that genuinely something people would consider big news?
Why wouldn't they? Important business is a big deal.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support, being there for them at the right time and place is of the utmost importance. After reading the Maréchal Phantom's reports, I had a feeling a trip here might be in order.
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Nervalette shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose, actually, to accompany Sigewinne as she pays her respects to her late teacher.
So the old friend she mentioned was her teacher then? The witch? Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Sigewinne calls her that all the time, so...
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive, Paimon. Don't worry.
Indeed. In fact, I believe Sigewinne would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor on many occasions, and it sounds like she was a truly generous individual. In those days, many people harbored prejudices against Melusines. She was the only teacher willing to take Sigewinne on as a student.
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be here for Sigewinne. Guess you guys really look out for your younger colleagues, huh?
Avec qui Asnez?
Younger colleague?
Putain.
Well, that might be
Un
true for the
DPS?
Udex,
Ou un
but I'm not
tank?
sure I can say the same. Sigewinne served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago, and after she did her time, she decided to stick around. She's been an integral part of our administration ever since. Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included. Pretty sure that makes me the younger colleague.
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them to lead more straightforward, happier lives.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Sigewinne had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless in clear violation of the law.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Certainly. Sigewinne does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact, I first learned of it myself because she confessed the truth to me of her own volition.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch. You want to save everyone in Fontaine, but you can't even save the patient before you.
Master, what are you...
I discovered a strange disease, one I suspect that every Fontainian suffers from. But without witnesses or proof, no one will believe me. I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure, but I hit a wall. And as you can see, it took a wretched toll on me.
Then I'll find a cure for you, and then you can go cure her.
There's no need. I am beyond saving now. There's nothing you can do.
But
Master?
Je finis la quête avant Astes.
As I said before, a doctor's duty is to treat whatever ailments they can.
I know, but they don't trust me at all.
That girl. She's your first ever patient, isn't she? Tell me, what cost are you willing to bear to see her cured?
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it?
As long as I don't hurt anyone. Yes.
Spoken like a true student of mine. Then I shall make one more final gamble. And see my experiment through to its end. Leave me for now, and come back in 2 hours. If I am able to work this miracle, then I will have found a way to save all Fontanians, and I shall be able to help you treat that girl. If not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I cannot treat. In that case, do not come looking for me. I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery happened upon through my study of this strange disease. It has little use, but it will at least help you cure this one patient you can reach.
When Sigewinne returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events, I gave my verdict.
So that's what happened.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontanians was uncovered. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. As I use the law to uphold justice, there are times when I cannot help but acknowledge its ruthlessness. After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully, the legal code does not require Sigewinne to shoulder any additional punishment.
Wonder how she feels about all this.
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no?
Take it easy.
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb. And even that's deep underwater now.
Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your teacher, wasn't she?
Sounds like Monsieur Neuvillette filled you in.
After learning the truth, it must have been hard to process, huh?
Well, to be honest, after I realized what really happened that night, my first thought was that it kind of made sense. It seemed exactly like the sort of thing she would do.
But she was planning to sacrifice herself and never told you.
That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine...
Alright, but why did you turn yourself in?
I broke the law, simple as that. My teacher made her choice, and I made mine.
True. It's just... the way Patton framed it when he was asking you all those questions, it made Paimon really mad. You're not like him at all, and everything Neuvillette said confirms that. And yet, you were still convicted and thrown in prison. It just Feels so unfair.
Unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time, I'm not sure I would have been able to stay strong when he was questioning me.
What makes you say that?
I knew you'd be curious. Let me tell you a story. The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. Deudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melusine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melusine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melusine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, everyone wants to make friends with Melusines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melusine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get behind.
Bon, l'histoire elle est mignonne. Beaucoup trop longue. En gros, tu peux enlever 2h20 de la quête qui fait 2h30. Mais l'histoire est mignonne. Comme ça, je suis tout spoil Zenny. C'est le principe du stream de la quête en fait. Mais t'inquiète, tu auras 2h30 pour tout relire assidûment si tu veux.
I understand. Thanks, you two. I appreciate you being here for me while I talk this through.
Oh, it's nothing. Our pleasure.
Oh, there's one more reason I invited you here.
Après, en vrai, la quête est... Bon, elle est pas très originale non plus, mais elle est quand même touchante.
In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the
Et
Maréchaussée
ouais,
Phantom gave me special permission to make
80% de la quête qui sert à rien, comme d'hab. Et écoute, Asnas, tu peux gagner 40 primogèmes, 8 ou 12 bouquins.
We don't need it though. Shouldn't we destroy it?
Well,
Et c'est quoi
even if
2h30?
you chose to destroy
C'est
it,
rien.
I still thought I should give it to you first. You two did so much for
Au
me.
pire, faut faire tes quêtes de Genshin pendant que t'es en train de faire des classés sur LoL. Hein.
Well, fair enough, but anyway, Paimon's definitely not interested in this stuff anymore. Still, if this is the very last bottle in all of Teyvat, getting rid of it would feel like kind of a waste. Maybe we can give it a special meaning somehow. Oh, Paimon's got it! Melusine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. In that case, What do you say, Sigewinne? Ever thought about transforming back to the way you used to look? After all, from a Melazine point of view, Paimon bets Melazines look the cutest of all!
Paimon, after everything, do you really think it matters whether I'm Melazine or a human?
Well... What was Paimon thinking? You made up your mind a long time ago! Yeah, let's just destroy this thing!
Leave it to me.
Bah, encore une fois, le message est beau, hein. Mais bon.
I'd like to stay here with
Est-ce qu'on va faire un parallèle avec notre société, par exemple? Bon, voilà, c'est finito. 2h31 de règle. C'est pas la pire quête, je te jure que c'est pas la pire à ce stade. Parce que le fond de l'histoire est quand même sympa. Moi, j'aime bien ce genre d'histoire. Mais ouais, il y a 2h10 en trop sur 2h30. On est où, là? Bref. À bientôt pour la quête d'Emily. Ou la suite de la quête de l'été. Mais je sais plus, d'habitude, je les mets dans mon let's play, les quêtes de personnages. Ou elles sont en dehors. Parce que sachant que j'ai déjà rediffusé une partie du truc de l'été, si en plein milieu je rediffuse ça, ça va être bizarre. Bref, on verra ça plus tard. C'est ciao.